Welcome back to Base Sunday. You may do great work and have terrific ideas, but if you can't sell your work or ideas on paper, well, they may never leave the room. Our next guest is making sure that never happens to you. Her book, Writing to Make a Difference, empowers readers with 25 techniques to boost your community impact. It's a workbook of sorts that will definitely get your good word out. Pleased to welcome author Dalya Massachi. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Frank.
Well, we were talking off camera, but has this been kind of your baby for the last 5 or 6 years, thinking, I know all this, people keep asking me this, I got to write a book?
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah. Well, what finally pushed you over the top to say, I got to write this?
Well, I felt like I just had so much experience and expertise and skill that had kind of built up over and over. And I had been teaching for several years before this point, and I felt like, I want to just share what I know with as many people as I can.
And there's a lot of people that are just great innovators. They've got great ideas, but when it comes to melding it down and pushing it forward and trying to sell themselves, they've got issues.
Exactly.
And that's where this book will come in handy, right?
That's right. Yeah, this book is for the people, for any kind of social change maker in an organization or as an individual, maybe even a student or even a job seeker who wants to start working in nonprofits or social businesses or something that has a little meaning in the community. And they might not know where to start in terms of sharpening their writing skills, and that's what the book is for.
I came from a sports background, and we never got a lot of time on the air. You've got 3 minutes, you better make it sing. And I remember the first sports guy I worked with said, you got to shove a 2-pound rock in a 1-pound sack. You got to make it sound wonderful, but you got to get as much detail as you can. And that's one of your rules, really. Pare it down, simplify it. Don't put too much in, right?
Exactly. I actually like to use the acronym KISS, but I actually add another S to it. So it's keep it simple, short, and skimmable.
Skimmable.
Because, people are skimming these days. They're not reading.
Yeah, it's true. People will thumb through, and because we're all used to the internet now, and you've only got, I don't have time to read all this, and you go down. You got to keep it simple, don't you?
Exactly.
Well, what's the number one mistake people make when they're writing and trying to influence somebody one way or the other?
Well, I would say the number one mistake is people focus on the facts of the services they're providing, and they're not focusing on the difference that they're making in the community, the benefits that are coming to the reader and to the community at large. So I like to ask the question to kind of dig right into that, into the benefit, go beyond the services, into the benefit with the question, so what?
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
What difference are you making?
Don't bury the lead.
Yeah.
Show me what you can do for us. There's another thing in there. Make it personal.
Yes.
I used to take pictures. My sister would take pictures of these, the Golden Gate Bridge and this and that. And they're beautiful, but unless you've got a person in front of that bridge, which timestamps it, which personalizes it, and that's one of your chapters in the book. Well, make it personal.
Yeah, that person-to-person connection is crucial. And I like to say it's kind of like a conversation that you're having with someone. This conversation just happens to be on paper.
Right. How do you develop a writing style? How do you know what your style is?
It will take time, and the two big things that will help you develop that are practice and feedback. Practice and feedback. And if you practice, people usually have lots of opportunities to practice when they're working in social change organizations or in activism in some way, but feedback isn't as common.
Yeah, I went to Cal, and we were writing about all the classics and all that kind of thing. And I finally got an English teacher that said, write about your favorite album, write about your favorite concert, and things that you could kind of put your arms around as a young girl or a young guy. And she really helped me a lot. And I wrote like I spoke.
Yes.
Which was great for television, not so great if you're writing a history paper,
Right. It's really about the format that you're writing, and you have to think about, are you working in an educational way like an academic paper, or are you really working in terms of fundraising and marketing, which is a kind of different type of writing, and that's what the book really focuses on.
You got to know your audience.
Exactly. Got to know who they are and make that person-to-person connection, like what you said when you were back in college or in school, when you're kind of putting yourself in the piece.
Right.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Some teachers liked it, many did not. What's the best piece of advice you can give our viewers right now that need to read your book?
I would say think about focus on your reader, and also think about again, going back to the benefits, what's the difference that you're making in your organization or in whatever social change work you're working on. Then think about, do I really have the writing skills that I need? The book has 25. It goes through kind of a progression of planning your piece, then drafting your piece, and then editing your piece. So there's that whole spectrum. And if you think you might be weak in any of those areas, you might want to check out the book.
Okay.
I also did want to mention something else, Frank.
Go ahead.
I mentioned a few minutes ago about the fact that there's a real lack of feedback a lot of times. To improve your writing skills, you need that practice and you need the feedback. So when I noticed that, I felt like I needed to do something about that, right? So I offer a lot of exercises and examples in the book that can help you get that practice. And then the feedback, I offer lots of tips in the book about how to give others feedback, how to give some editing advice. And finally, I have a new product or a new service that I'm offering called Writing Wednesdays. It's a free conference call series that people can call in twice a month and get free feedback from a national audience and from me.
If they need help, that's the place to go. The book is great. We wish you all the best. Thanks for coming in, Dalya. We appreciate it. If you'd like more information, you can log on to writingtomakeadifference.com. That's writingtomakeadifference.com. Nice and easy. Back with more Base Sunday right after the break.